I feel eternally fortunate that for the better part of 8 years I have not felt the need to be pussy whipped. In other words, I don't feel like I have to be in a relationship and have this codependency in my life and all these restraints that some... Now listen, this isn't a speech against relationships. Okay, I love healthy relationships. I'm all about healthy relationships. I think it's wonderful. Marriages, families, children, I think all that's good. I'm a traditional, conservative, Christian fundamentalist, okay, by the way. So, this is a message from your college that originated from Columbia and the Frankfurters, okay. Is what I'm talking about is these guys who have a new broad every month or two, and they fall in love, and they need this, and it goes for the women too. Back and forth. I have friends like this, and I have people that aren't friends and acquaintances, and I watch and I sit and I look, and I see this terrible display of it's almost pathetic. It's almost pathetic, and you look and you watch and you see and you go, man, it's too bad that guy doesn't have an outlet like I do, 20 glasses of Pinot Grigio in the evening or something, something. And then is what happens is usually it's the man who decides he's going to pamper this woman. Now, sometimes she's high maintenance to begin with, sometimes she's not, but you can make a woman from the ghetto high maintenance if you start trying to buy her love. I know, I've done it. I did it 8-9 years ago. And I was good at it. And it's nice being able to come home and have sex every single night, and for the most part, it's going to be clean, you at least hope there's no infidelity or anything going. But other than that, and I'm talking about unhealthy relationships. And that was a healthy one for a couple of years. But this back and forth, I've seen this where the woman goes to the guy's best friend and over to her best friend, and next thing you know, everybody's fucked everybody who knows everybody in town. And to me, that's just, first of all, that's a violation of my privacy, because everyone's gossiping. My penis size, whether big, small, standard issue, white boy penis, whatever it is, I don't need that floating around. Not because I care, but it's like I like a certain element of surprise. If you've ever read the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu, anybody can appreciate the art of surprise. Or at least, the element of surprise. And not, besides, I don't need a case of herpes. I don't need a case of herpes. Through all the crazy things I've done and been through, it's amazing to me that I've escaped it without an STD. An incurable one, that is. No, I've had to... I've had to do the antibiotic thing, but they make it extremely easy now with that Z-Pack. Especially if you're a guy who likes to drink like me. Alcohol counteracts antibiotics. So if you're on a penicillin regimen or something like this, you're talking about being out of the game for a week or two. They want you to take morning, lunch, and dinner, with or without for blood, and you got to do it for like 7, 10, 14 days. Some long ass fucking time where you can't drink that whole time, or it makes the whole thing, you got to start over. Whereas with the Z-Pack, you can take it like in one shot, boom, like right there. It's like 4 pills. It's like a gram, 4 250 milligram pills. You just pop them, boom, out you go, and then they say you can drink that night. It doesn't, I don't. I just go home. I'm just happy to get the fever gone and the urinary tract from burning. That's only happened a couple times, but I've been very Charlie Sheenish over the last 8 years, in that, I like to go out, and it's not that I treat women like objects or I use them or anything like that. I find women who agree that you either pay somebody to go away, i.e. I could hire, professional help like an escort or something like that, but I don't like going that route. I can find them in high-end nightclubs and Italian and French restaurants and places like that, and easily get them to come back to my place, and it's not a big deal. When I'm in the mood, I don't even really have a sex drive lately, to be honest with you. I'm so entwined with work and business, and I'm starting another business, and I'm doing this and that. I don't even have a sex drive anymore. But on the event that I do, which, maybe once, twice a month, you go, and then, it's everybody mutually agrees. It's a win-win situation. She says, oh, yeah, I've been down that road before. I ain't looking for nothing serious. I just want to have a good... Oh, yeah, me too. I just want to have... Ba-ba-ba. We laugh, and we compare each other's mental aptitudes and our IQs and whether or not we can handle this. Like, I'm thinking to myself, is this crazy bitch going to call me tomorrow and start talking about, changing the accent color of my accent wall, and I think we should change the floor mat, the welcome rug to something a little bit more festive. We're entering into December. I think we should have a more Christmassy themed welcome mat at the front door, and and then that's what you got to watch out for. That's what unless it's divinely inspired, divine providence. That's the word I was looking for, divine providence. And you'll know, ask the man upstairs, is this divine, and maybe happily ever after, and you stay married your whole life. And this, but the fact is the divorce rate is so high today, and nobody's staying married. Everything's all fucked up. And look, there's some very rare few situations where it doesn't happen, and I like those types of, and I know some people in some great relationships. I could name some friends of mine on both coasts, Florida, Arizona, few, like I'm thinking like 2-3 names off the top of my head. Unbelievable relationship. I say, they were made for each other, and you can just tell. But that's not the way it always is. And the first thing you got to do, and this is what I tell everybody when it comes down to relationships, you got to do the remote control test. You got to program, because it all starts like this. Here you are, you're not a paraplegic, you got 2 beautiful working arms and 2 hands and legs and feet, and you can stand and walk and feed yourself and all of that shit. So you're both laying in bed, you're watching a show, and she realizes that the remote control is across the room on, a nightstand, a chase, a chest drawer, wherever. And she basically says, honey, will you get up and get the remote for me, please? Or, that's saying it nicely, oh, can you get the remote? However she puts it. And it all starts with the remote. And it's what you do is you hop up because you want to, whatever, be a bitch in my eyes. And you get the remote, and you hand her the remote, and now she begins the control. It all starts with the remote control. You have to, look, unless she's in bed with the flu, or she's a paraplegic, or she's on her deathbed and she can't get to it. If you're both equally healthy and capable and pretty much equal distance from the remote, say, get up and get the fucking remote yourself. And you got to establish boundaries. It's not that you don't want to help somebody, but it all starts with the remote control, because it's what happens is you give an inch, they take a mile. And if you're going to get into a relationship, as a man, And as a Christian, you have to usurp some authority in your house. And by that, I just simply mean it is a man's world. I don't care what anybody says. And I don't mean that this needs to be abusive, control. I'm not talking about all that kind of crap. I'm talking simply about the role. When a woman comes into a so-called relationship and she wants to be treated like a princess and get her nails done every day and do this and do all that other stuff, well, you immediately delete your ability to play that new age woman card, because the new age women, so-called, are presidents of, major corporations and all this kind of stuff. If you're a stay-at-home woman living off the dole and your man, it's especially important that you get off your fucking ass and get the remote control your damn self, as far as I'm concerned. So that's one man's opinion. That's Mike Seaschultz's take on relationships. But otherwise, healthy relationships, fine. I'm talking about the people who constantly have to be in a relationship at all times. And you watch and you sit back and you look at the domestic violence and the garbage and the drama and the arguments at 2 and 3 in the morning and the bullshit. And I say no thank you. And I've happily been single for many years. I didn't say celibate, I said single. Okay, 2 totally different things. I've had a lot of fun in these 8 or 9 years. And I've avoided a whole lot of grief and misery by not getting myself tangled back up in one of those goddamn relationships.
Converting tin cans into solid gold. Your current website and marketing efforts aren't bringing you a single customer? Don't get your panties in a wad. I'm Mike Seaschultz, and I'm the gnarliest son of a bitch you've ever met when it comes to building and marketing your brand. I build you a badass website, put it on top of Google, create a voiceover radio ad just like the one you're listening to right now, and best of all, make your phone ring.
Oh, yeah.
Call me today at 386-265-8190. Again, that's 386-265-8190, 386-265-8190, or visit me online at daringforce.com. That's DARING force.com, daringforce.com.
So I guess that's going to take me to the end of the show. For those of you who frequent the gym 2 or 3 times a day, and you're on a strict chicken and rice diet, and you drink protein shakes for lunch, and you have eggs for breakfast, and you act like a complete faggot with a wife beater on at all times, and you have to constantly be in a relationship with a helpless woman who doesn't even know what's going on, and you take advantage, and you're so hopped up on steroids and pre-workout and creatine and whey protein and chicken and rice and fucking stupidity with your IQ the size of a goddamn peanut. You're like a chimpanzee. You're like crazy. You're crazy. And you post this stuff on Facebook. I get on Facebook, I wake up in the morning and I have my coffee, and I wake up and I read some spiritual literature, and I meditate, and I have a really neat wake-up routine that a lot of people would admire if they were to come inside the house with cameras and see what takes place inside the home of Mike Seaschultz. I mean, part of life is living peacefully. And so when I wake up, I like to thank the Lord for the day, and I like to read spiritual literature, and I like to open up my Bible. I like to do some things. People wouldn't even know because I don't even talk about it. And some days I don't even do it, to be quite honest with you. In fact, there's weeks I go at times, and then there's months I go at times where I don't go a day without doing it. But if you're one of these gym rat douchebags, you should probably tune out of the show. I don't think this show is for you. This show is for winners only. And you can't spend as much time working out as you do building a bit. You have to have one or the other. These gym rats, it's a full-time business. And in order to be rich, you got to put your full-time business into the business that makes you money, not the one that makes you muscles. So, for all you faggots and wife beaters out there, this is the Talk Radio King signing off on this wonderful morning. It's November 30th. Thanks for stopping by.
Just the two of us.